for you to understand this. You explain the rights. After he said they said information to you. That was an informal process. Do you agree?
I'm not sure.
May I repeat it?
Yeah.
May I rephrase it? At Fortuna police station on the 30th of May, when you were interacting with accused number 1, I'm saying whatever that he said to you was an informal process, because for you to legitimize that process, you had to get somebody who must take a formal confession. You agree?
I agree. I agree, my lord. But the part that I wanted to correct was that it was the rights before and then he spoke, not the other way around. That he spoke and then I wanted.
Uthi manje ke uyavuma nawo ukuthi inkulumo yakho nommangalelo wokuqala lapha eFortuna bakade kuyinkulumo nje ebungasi inkulumo esemthethweni noma ebhalwayo ukuthi ingahle isetshenzisiwe. Uthi yebo lokho ngiyakuvuma, kodwa ngicela ukucacisa la ukuthi akusukuthi ukukhulumile bese ngimtshela amalungelo, ngimtshele amalungelo qala bese uyakhuluma.
Yes. What I want to put across to you is that what Mboto or Colonel Mboto has done with accused number 1, and you were not present, cannot be an evidence by you to confirm that the provisions of section 217 were complied with. That from you is a hearsay evidence,
Well,
because
my
you were
lord,
not present.
Yes, I totally agree, my lord. I was not there. All I'm saying, and that's what I've said even earlier, not giving an impression that I was present. All I'm saying is that prior to Colonel Mboto kicking in, I was convinced that he's prepared to make this confession freely and voluntarily. And the issues of not being under influence, my lord, I think they're critical, because you cannot, for example, establish that the person is under medication or he is intoxicated. I mean, why would you want to formalize that confession? So they were important before you can start formalizing the process. But yes, I was not present with Colonel Mboto. All I was saying is that there was no reason given to me prior to the taking of the formal confession and after. But furthermore, my lord, I had access to the confession when I collected it from Colonel Mboto in his office. And it's clearly, I mean, I read it, I read it, I saw what questions were put, what answers were given, and the signatures that were put there. So if you go through that confession, insofar as I went through it, my lord, I did not also get any impression that some rights were violated, insofar as the performance is concerned.
Mina ke ngibone ukuthi ngemva kokuthi umangalelwa aye kuKolonel Mboto ekhulumile mase sekufika leli yaphepha ukuthi bekade elibhala, ngibone ukuthi akunamalungelo wakamangalelwa ukuthi wona ayiwanyathelwa la ukuthi umangalelwa mhlawumbe wenziswe into bekade engafuni ukuyenza, ngoba njengophoyisa eliphenya kuyicala ngiyengafunda konke obekade kukhulunywa kubhalwa ngabona nemibuzo ebekade ibuzwa, futhi kubalekile ukuthi umuntu umbheke noma umbuze ukuthi lento afuna uyikhuluma ngenhliziyo yakhe ekhululekile akaphoqwanga, uthi nalokho ngikwenzile njengoba ngiyiphoyisa eliphenya kuleli cala.
The essence of this question, before I move on to something else, is that the version of accused number 1 says he was compelled to endorse a signature on a statement. He did not make a statement himself. And that when he endorsed the signature, you were not present.
Yes, I agree, my lord. Like I've said, what took place insofar as the formal taking of the statement, I was not there. So Colonel Mboto, I think, will be a better person to talk to those issues.
Uthi ummangalelwa wokuqala uma etshela ummeli wakhe ukuthi yena uye waphoqwa ukuthi asayinde iphepha elithize eline statement futhi wena brigadier wawukade ungekho angisho uthi yebo engikade ngingekho nalokho uKenneth Mbotho ongeza ezochaza kabanzi ngalolu daba ummangalelwa okhuluma ngalo.
And in relation to the issue of being kept incommunicado, he was not afforded an opportunity to communicate with his family. He was kept in a single cell alone. Will you regard that as human enough to detain such a person?
So, my lord, I think I also dealt with this aspect last year, that during June 2020, the country was under COVID lockdown. It was a regulation which, if you violate, you could be charged to maintain a safe, distance between parties. And I did mention, my lord, that depending on the facilities that each police station will have, they will decide as to how many inmates they will incarcerate per cell. We, as the investigation team, did not have influence, detection as to who must be incarcerated where. Ours is to hand the person in, sign the handing over of that person, they receive that person, they place that person according to the category of the charges he's facing, and as they deem fit according to their regulation. That is the first part, my lord. But the second part, which says he did not speak to his family, I don't think it's true, because on the first appearance in Tembisa, he was legally represented by legal aid. Subsequent to that, his family hired a private attorney who represented him in that matter and eventually came to Phosphorus when we charged him in Phosphorus court. So he was able to make those calls and communicate with his family, and hence private attorneys were activated.
Umeli uchaza lelo daba lokuthi wena Sibiya uye wavalelwa ngendlela ebekade ingekho emthethweni la ukuthi awuzange unikwe nethuba lokuthi uxhumane nomndeni wakho futhi wawukade uvalelwe wedwa. Uyachaza ubrigadier ukuthi yebo ekuvalelweni yedwa bekungasithina abaphenyayo ngecala abatshele ipolice station ukuthi lo muntu akavalele yedwa. Uthi uma sikhumbula ngo-2020 ngoJune country yonke yayikade ikwi-lockdown la ukuthi abantu bekade bengamelanga ukuthi bagcwale la ukuthi i-police station yona iyona ebekade isho ukuthi kwamele kufakwe abantu abangakanani eselini elithize. Futhi lolu daba lokuthi wena bowungaxhumani nomndeni wakho uthi akaliboni kuyiqiniso ngoba uma uyovela phambi kwamantshi uye ubokade unommeli we-legal aid la ukuthi ngemva kwalokho wena umndeni wakho uyibekade ukhona futhi wakufunela nomunye ummeli okhokhelwayo, yingakho bona babona ukuthi wawukade uxhumana nommeli wakho njengoba wawukade uxhumana nomndeni wakho njengoba wawukade ukhona futhi bakufunela nommeli okhokhelwayo.
My lord, I'm not sure if it's convenient time to attend for lunch.
Yeah, you said you wanted to pose some other questions.
It's only one question. The aspect.
No, we can do it any other time.
Yes.
Okay, so, but you want us to adjourn now?
For lunch.
Is that the consensus, Mr. Baloyi?
Indeed, it's time for the long agenda.
There's just one aspect this court is going to remark on. He keeps telling Mr. Mgumezulu that when so-called interfering, I only quoting the law. You see this process of saying when he agrees with you, you're both wrong. When you put it to him, Brigadier Gininda, that when you were speaking to your client, accused number one, and gleaned from number one that he wants to make a confession, that was an informal process. No, that's a constitutional process. It's not informal. Our law says an accused person must be apprised of his rights in terms of Section 35. So when this accused person, who is a lay person and doesn't know the law, says to you, when you speak to him, he wants to make a confession. When you engage him, that is his constitutional right, and that is a constitutional process. Okay,
May I tell?
that's the law.
Yes.
You and Gininda can agree on another law. That one I don't know.
My Lord, may I clarify it? The explanation of rights is something else.
No, fine.
I was talking about,
An informal process.
yes, like taking off a confession in terms of Section 217.
It's not informal, Mr. It's not. It's a constitutional requirement that before a person makes a confession, he must be apprised of his right. Can ask Mr. Am I correct? Mr. Nisi.
There's nothing formal.
Yes.
Everything's
You see, and I keep quiet now. Hayi, le judge has umthetho. When I mention it, hayi, le judge interfere.
Manje-ke inkantolo ichaza ukuthi njengoba ummeli ethe ngalesikhathi ukhulumisana no-brigadier leyo nto yakade inkulumo engekho emthethweni uthi cha inkulumo esemthethweni ngoba umthetho-sekelo i-constitution iyachaza ukuthi umuntu uma efuna ukukhuluma leyo nto leyo ayikhulumayo ilungelo lakhe eyikuthi lisemthethweni. Manje ngalesikhathi nikhuluma no-brigadier bakade kuyilungelo lakho eyikuthi lisemthethweni futhi libhalwe nakumthetho-sekelo. Inkosi yenkantolo ithi yona ayigamkeli kule indaba ezikammeli wakho no-brigadier Gininda futhi uyabuza nomnumzana uMnisi ukuthi iqiniso na uthi yebo into esemthethweni ngoba ilungelo elikumthetho-sekelo.
Okay, can you agenda then until 2 is it?
20 in Carltonville. That was the first time I met him.
Ubufakazi bukammangalelo wesibini yena uthi ubrigadier wayekade ekhona lapha ePretoria nothi cha ngiyaphika lokho ngiqale ukumbona nge-18 zika June eCarltonville.
So accused number 2, when he was arrested on the 16th of June 2020, he was not arrested on the strength of a warrant of arrest or a J50 on the case of Nongoma under 163. Oh, is it 03?
04 2018.
2018, thank you.
That is correct, my lord, but Section 40 of the Criminal Procedure Act 51 of 1977 does make a provision for the police to arrest without a warrant of arrest if they have a reasonable suspicion, which I believe in this instance, as I was briefed by Sergeant Mohane, they did.
Mangalelo wesibini yena waboshwa ke eboshwa ngaleliya qala liyasenongoma nangokho bengekho iphepha egunyazayo ukuthi aboshwe uthi yebo uyavumela umthetho-sekelo ukuthi uma engabe amaphoyisa bona banokusola okuthize ukuthi lo muntu angahlabandakanyeke kwicala elithize banegunya lokuthi bangambopha njengoba naye etshelwe uSergeant Mohane ukuthi bebakade besola lokho.
Yes, I will address the provisions of Section 41B relating to an arrest without a warrant. But what I want to put across to you is that accused number 2 was arrested because he is linked with a murder case in Nongoma.
That is correct, my lord. He was arrested for the Nongoma case on the 16th of June.
Uthi yebo nge-16 zika June 2020 ummangalelo wesibini yena wayekade eboshelwa leli cala lakwaNongoma.
Okay. So, are you in possession of the docket?
The docket, yes, is available. It is available, my lord.
Uthi yebo idocket uyiphethe.
Yes, it is available, my lord.
So, in terms of the docket, does it state that it's a murder case.
Yes, it says murder in possession of unlicensed firearm outside murder.
Liyachaza na leli dokoto ukuthi likhuluma ngokubulawa komuntu uthi yebo lichaza ukubulawa komuntu nokuphatha inhlamvu ezingekho emthethweni.
Can maybe we have sight of the docket?
Yes, you can.
Have you
Oh, you mean outside? So
made the copies? Because we've been requesting to see the docket and
Okay, the docket is here, my lord. We can make copies, I suppose, when we are checking for the defense, but it is here. Here's the docket, so we can make copies for the defense if they need.
Has this gentleman appeared in court in respect of that docket?
This is not accused number 2.
Yeah.
No, it didn't, my lord. I
Does
know
the law
that-
allow that?
Sir,
No, I just want to know from the brigadier, because here's a man is allegedly arrested for murder and possession, right?
Yes,
He has been charged.
yes, my lord.
Has he appeared in court?
No, my lord. What happened is he was arrested on the 16th, then on the 19th, that's when he was taken to Fortuna's court,
Okay, yeah.
where he was supposed to be placed and transferred
Okay.
to Nongoma, and that is where the decision not to enroll the matter was taken, my lord.
Okay.
That's that matter.
But the state doesn't, or at least you, as senior police, you have no problem with making available the copies of all the documents in the docket,
Well, on
except
second
the usual ones.
No. On second consideration, my lord, because the matter is not finalized insofar as the investigation is concerned, I think it might, because he's still going to be pursued together with others. And this docket is linked to about 3 other dockets. I think one would have to reconsider what I said, that we can make copies for them. It will defeat the purpose of the investigation, my lord.
It's all about me trying to know the law.
Thank you.
okay.
Inkosi yenkantolo iyabuza ukuthi uNtanzi uye wavela na kuleli cala lase Nongoma. Uyaphendula ubrigadier uthi cha akazavele enkantolo kulayo ukuthi kuye kwathathwa isinqumo sokuthi leli cala lingafakwa enkantolo. Manje ke inkosi yenkantolo iyabuza futhi nokuthi usaqhubeka uthi usafuna ukuthi ungabanika amakhophi walo lelo dokodo uthi cha ngiyawagwinya lawo mazwi ngicela ukuthi ngiwagcine ngoba lamadokodo lo le yaseNongoma ilandelwa amanye amadokodo amathathu ayikuthi umangalelwa wesibini usazolandelisiswa noma kusazophenywa ngawo lamadokodo lawa.
If this matter was not placed on record, is there any kind of documentation to prove that that matter was refused from the road?
Well, I do believe, my lord, what was because I think the OBs and the entries from the court, I think was submitted to show that the accused went to court and the matter was not enrolled together with the drug dealing matter in Fortuna's on the 19th.
Yeah, but sorry. To refer to Mr. Mgomezulu, what do you want from this docket so that this court must assist you to have access to it if it pertains to the defense of your client about the admissibility or otherwise of the alleged confession the state alleges that your clients made? Are you with me?
I'm with you, my lord.
Yeah, so that you can peruse it.
So before my lord, I can answer on that. May I ask one question from him, then I'll take it from there.
Okay.
Are there any persons mentioned in the docket who appeared in court?
There's 2 names here, my lord. It's Teliselani Buthelezi on top, and then number 2 is Ntanzi. Its surname is Ntanzi Bongane Sandile, which is accused number 2.
Kunabantu na ekukhulunywe ngabo kulelo dokodo uthi yebo babini kunoqiniselani Qiniselani Buthelezi omunye ke bese kuba uyena uNtanzi.
Okay. Do you have the copy of the charge sheet?
No, I don't know.
Uthaka nayo icopy yale yancwadi ebekade ummangalelwa ethweswe amaqala ngayo.
You said the matter is not finalized yet.
Yes, Sergeant Mokhane is still investigating the matter. The matter is still, Sergeant Mokhane is still investigating all this.
Alikaqedwa leli cala laseNongoma njengoba ukuthi uSergeant Mkhani yena usaphenya ngalo.
Sergeant Khane, was he the only one who was investigating on that matter?
It was assigned to him. Ever since the matter got to us, my lord, it was assigned to him. But as I said, in KZN, the certain defense investigating officer who was basically the first suspect at that time was the investigating officer. But this side, ever since it came, it's Sergeant Mkhani, my lord.
Manje kuyabuzwa ukuthi uyena yedwa na uSergeant Mkhani oyikuthi uphenya lelicala kuthiwa lani kwayena soloku lafika la kithi kodwa eKZN ukhona omunye oyikuthi naye ubekade ephenya kakhulukazi indaba le kamangalelwa wokuqala kuleli cala.
Quickly, waiting for the
Yeah,
instruction.
fine.
I remember there was evidence by Mr. Sergeant Mkhani to say he the instruction is that in that docket there were two accused persons, namely Thabani Ngwenya and Buthelezi. And that matter was finalized. Do you have something to say?
My lord, I agree. The matter in KZN was finalized. The investigation insofar as accused to is not finalized. And this is what Sergeant Mkhani was basing it on.
Uthi ke ummeli yena utshelwa ukuthi kuleli cala lakwa Nongoma bekade kunamamangalelwa ababini Thabani Ngwenya noqiniselani Buthelezi eyikuthi lelo cala lelo laqulwa uthi ke ubrigadier yebo kwakade kunabamangalelwa ababini uphenyo lwaphela.
All right.
With the conviction for Mr. Buthelezi, my lord. Buthelezi is the individual that I said we have approached based on the collaboration of the confession that we got from accused number 1. And the statement for this Buthelezi is in this docket 636 and has been disclosed to the defense. That is the accused that is charging Mr. Buthelezi.
Buthelezi loyo okukhulunywa ngaye kuleli cala uye wayiwa kuye futhi wenze istatement leso statement leso sikhona kwidokodo leli lika 636 ileli elalecala leli esilikhulumayo namuhla uthi futhi leso statement sanikwa nabameli.
All right. Let's just put things into practical perspective. The matter was finalized and the verdict, was it a guilty verdict?
Yes, for Mr. Buthelezi, it was a guilty verdict with a direct imprisonment.
Manje uthini uthi lelo cala laqulwa kwaba nesinqumo kwaba nesahlulelo uthi yebo uButhelezi watholwa enecala futhi wathunyelwa ejele.
What happened to the murder charge in respect of Buthelezi?
There's a guilty verdict, my lord. I didn't, as I said, I've assigned this matter to the IO. I'm simply talking, the cosmetic part, but obviously there was a finding, and it's a guilty verdict with a direct imprisonment.
Yeah, but it's for murder.
I think it is for murder because the sentence, it's my lord, I don't want to perhaps say the wrong thing. One will have to go and maybe get the sentence so that I don't say what is.
But it should be annotated on the docket.
No, it's not written, my lord.
It's on the other one.
Yes. It's
Where
on
is the
other
other one? That is the one of Nongoma, which is allegedly finalized.
What we have in there, my lord, it's what was in the docket of Nongoma, because subsequent to the adjournment, I even made arrangement that we speak to the IO, and what we have, because we wanted to see those issues of the sentencing that would have occurred when we are here. There's nothing that they have except this. What I know that is available is the sentence, which is on the system that we can draw, and then we can make it available, my lord.
it will say sentence for murder, guilty of murder, sentenced to such and such a period.
Correct, my lord. That's what it will say. Or whatever charge they've convicted them on.
Yeah,
that,
fine,
that,
yeah.
that we can get, my lord.
So this matter is coming from 2018.
That's correct, my lord.
Manje ke kulo lelicala laseNongoma utheni uthe kunesigwebo esakhishwa futhi bekade kuyisigwebo na sokubulala uthi yebo kwakhishwa isigwebo kodwa angifuni ukuthi okwamanje ngisho ukuthi lo muntu wagwetshwa iminyaka emingaki ngoba nginaso isiqiniseko kodwa kwisystem isikhona singakwazi ukuthi sisidonse bese sikwazi ukutshela inkantolo ukuthi lo muntu wagwetshwa iminyaka emingaki futhi ke uma eqhubeka ubaba Buthelezi ubaba uMngomezulu uma ubuza futhi nokuthi lo muntu loyo yena ngempela ugwetshiwe uthi yebo ugwetshiwe kuleli yacala laseNongoma.
From the 19th of June 2020, I can see this matter is coming from 2018. Accused is arrested on the 16th of June 2020. On the 19th, the matter is removed from the roll. What steps was taken after the 19th to secure the attendance of accused number 2 to Nongoma court?
My lord, so as I've said, the driver was Sergeant Mohande, but then secondly, on the 19th, then the case of possession of unlicensed ammunition kicked in. That's the first part, which was in the Northwest Province. Now, if one had to, and I'm not talking in defense of Sergeant Mohande, but if one had now to pursue this, my lord, in terms of placing it, investigations were conducted collectively. They didn't stop. But if one had to singly focus on this case, it would have meant that the accused would have been placed in KZN. Then he would have had to move from KZN to Northwest and subsequently to Gauteng, which was a risk factor. So the approach was that all these matters, when we now had him on the Bukeng matter, must be investigated, completed, presented to the DPP, so that as and when the decision is taken, collectively the centralization point is made to avoid risk factor and the cost factor, because we would have had this matter, the Northwest matter, there's another matter of Rustenburg where the details were disclosed to the court, then KZN. It would have been a mess, my lord. We knew where the accused was, he was in custody, so the view was that Sergeant, investigate, complete everything, let's have it centralized, presented to the DP and get a central point where all these matters will appear.
Manje ke leli cala leli kube siye sathatha icala ngecala bekuzofuneka ukuthi ummangalelwa agcine seyikuthi uyovela enkantolo kwaNongoma avele ePhukeni abuye azovela futhi nala eGauteng la ukuthi lokho bekade kuzoba into eyikuthi bezosifaka esimeni esibucayi ngoba bekwamele simsuse kuzo zonke le indawo ingakho siye sanika usajeni umsebenzi wokuthi akaye ayophenya wonke lamaqala ukuthi uma sesesiwanika kumphathi wabashushisi akwazi ukuthatha isinqumo bese sikwazi ukuthi simbeke endaweni ebekade izovumela ukuthi zonke lezi indawo zibe eduze noma akwazi ukufinyeleleka ummangaleli.
Okay, I'll get into the particulars of the accused person and the verdict thereof. My concern is we knew that accused number 2, since he was arrested on the 16th of June, this year is 2024, accused person has never appeared in that court under the case number.
It was not enrolled, my lord. Like I said, it was never enrolled. You agree, but people are placed when the matter is accepted by Implicated. Then you place them, then you can transfer them. So it was not enrolled. That's my understanding.
Objection, my lord.
Yes.
My lord, there is evidence that was led in this court regarding this docket. There is, I'll double check the number of the exhibit, my lord. It was a printout, computer printout of this docket, reflecting another information. And then today, my lord, the evidence or reference is being made to the same docket. And the witness is testifying on the content of this document which is in front of the witness. My Lord, as a result of that, I submit that as the defense were entitled to the disclosure of the docket in which the witness is making reference to. And even in the evidence of Sergeant Mohane, my Lord, if I'm not mistaken, reference as to this, regarding this docket, was made that was the basis for the arrest of accused number 2. As a result of that, my Lord, I submit and I ask with the leave of the court that this docket should be disclosed to the defense so that we can be able to verify what the witness is testifying about right now.
Yeah, I said so. I said, to be fair to Mr. Mngomezulu, if this docket or his instructions are that there is a link, this docket can be utilized for the defense of his clients in the trial.
Yes.
This court can authorize that you must have access to the dockets
Yes.
so that the defense of your clients is not impinged upon. That's what I said.
Thank you, my Lord. I'm asking for that permission, my Lord. That's the court business, my Lord.
Mr. Baloyi, what's urgent?
Yes.
Please, I had a quick look at Exhibit WW. It contains the list of those confidential cases that Sergeant Mohane requested.
Yeah,
that they
it was
should not be
disclosed that
disclosed.
confidential cases, you remember?
Yes, but this docket doesn't feature, on that list. I think it's something we can sort out between
There are 4 dockets, Mr.
ourselves and the defense.
Brigadier Ginini.
Yes,
There are
ma'am.
4 dockets.
Yes, ma'am.
Give them to this witness, to the counsels here.
That's the court business, my Lord.
And go and show these dockets to your clients. Like what happened with the confidential information, which I said it's only for the eyes of the defense and the court.
That's the court business, my Lord. We want.
So you want us to adjourn and you want to see them,
That's the
or
court business.
you want to do what?
We're asking for the adjournment, my Lord, because the witness is continuing to go deep.
Inkosi yenkantolo ithi yebo lokho kuyavumeleka. Enye into esemqoka inkosi yenkantolo ivezile ukuthi abameli banganibonisi lamadokodo njengaleli yaphepha ekuthi liye lavezwa nyakenye leli ke kwachazwa ngalo. Manje ke inkosi yenkantolo ithi bawabheke lamadokodo manje la bangahambi nawo emakhaya.
Okay. You are available tomorrow? Brigadier?
Yes, I am, my Lord.
Okay, let's adjourn now. What's the time now?
It's 14:13.
Yeah, so that you can take instructions if you glean any information which affects the defense of your clients in the trial.
Thank you.
Okay, so we adjourn for the perusal of the 4 dockets by the council.
Sizigcina la namhlanje ukuthi abameli bayobona lamadokodo sizobuya futhi kusasa.
Okay.
In Carlton Beach. That was the first time I met him.
Yes, quite.
In fact, the court remarked that they may not be taken home.
Yeah.
However, the defense were of the view that the court order can be interpreted in such a way that that copies can be made of those dockets, and we therefore could not reach
Those are privileged documents, are they not?
an agreement yesterday. Indeed, my lord.
I mean, and if you know your law, those are privileged documents.
Yes.
The state, the accused are not entitled to those documents as a matter of right. If you read State versus Chabalala
Yes.
in the Constitutional Court, it tells you that that is part of what C of the docket.
Well, it's in our view, it's additional information.
Yeah, fine. But the point is,
they are not really.
they are not yet charged
Yes.
in the technical sense.
In
The matter was supposed to be enrolled, and the prosecutor in Post Luras
Yes.
came with a new version of the law that
Yes.
he doesn't have jurisdiction,
Yes.
which is not correct.
Yes.
And the charges were never laid, in other words.
Indeed, they
And then, as
never
Mr.
appeared in.
Brigadier says, they decided that they should investigate all those dockets, 4 of them. And thereafter, because they are situated in different parts of the country, they must
Yes.
apply for consolidation.
Indeed, my lord. And
What
again,
section is that? Consolidation.
it's centralization,
Centralization and Mr.
of the charges.
Yes. So you can charge a guy having killed a person in Cape Town, and then he goes to so-called the border of Mozambique and South Africa, kwavuma, umhlaba uyaphela.
Yes.
And then you consolidate those cases, the cases handled here in Pretoria.
Yes.
Because the Supreme Court is the Supreme Court or the High Court of South Africa. If you read, there's nothing like the High Court of Gauteng. It's the High Court of South Africa with subdivisions in Gauteng, Northwest, Cape, KwaZulu, KwaZulu Natal, whatever.
Yes.
But it's one court in essence.
Indeed, my lord. And we've already seen in Exhibit B that that there was centralization of the charges in this matter.
Yeah.
And we again this morning listened to the recording, and that's precisely what the court said, my lord. The stance of the state is exactly in line with what the court ordered yesterday.
Yeah, but I made an order that they must be read in court. Is that not so?
Yes, indeed, my lord.
Yeah, so what's the problem? Mr. Ngomezulu, what is the problem with the order?
God blesses, my lord. My lord, the defense and the state, after we adjourned 2:30, we went to the office of my colleague, Mr. Baloyi,
Yeah.
with the purpose of obtaining such copies. So it came this morning that there is a dispute regarding that. But yes, the whole of afternoon yesterday, there was no such a dispute. But in relation to, if I can take the court back to the request that we made during the evidence of Mr. Mukhani, Sergeant Mukhani,
Yeah.
the court made an order that we should have access to the docket.
Yes, of course, yeah.
And there
But
was a,
not copy anything. That's why I said it must happen in this court. Because the last time you remember what happened.
I remember what
Yeah,
happened, my
the
lord.
order was taken and shown to your clients. That's why I said the rider is, it must not even taken to my sitting room.
My lord, it all emanated from dockets 163. But now the state is alleging serious allegations against the accused.
Where?
And in terms of State versus Shabalala, he was supposed to disclose such information for a purpose of consultation.
Which one? Which information is that?
I mean, regarding the alleged or pending matter of murder,
In the Nongoma case?
the Nongoma case.
No, State versus Chabalala is not applicable. Please.
That's what was
State versus Chabalala is applicable to a case which is going to be heard at a particular time, where the indictment is drawn and where the clients, your clients have pleaded. Then you give, as a matter of constitutional right, in terms of State versus Chabalala, then the state is obliged, they have no choice, to give you all the contents of the docket, which they are going to use, except, of course, classified information.
My lord,
But this is not applicable to Nongoma. I said I'm making the order in fairness to you because there is a possibility that you may want to glean information which affects the admissibility and otherwise of the confession, and you want to raise certain issues.
but my submission, my lord, is that when the court remembers, every time the state is disclosing new evidence during the course of the trial, within the trial, was furnishing us with the contents, of which such contents, most of them, were not discovered during the trial. In this case, the issue of 163 started during during trial, within the trial. So why is the state at this stage reluctant, if during the course of it was, we even call it ambush discover? Why are they not open before this honorable court and give us the content so that we go
No,
through.
but Mr. Advocate Ngomezulu,
Yes,
the state has been ordered to hand over the dockets to you guys.
yes.
The proviso is that they must be read by you in this court. You can read it to page 1 to page 100, no problem. But you are not allowed to make copies of those.
Court,
That's
please.
the order. It's a simple order.
That has not been done.
And I never said you can't make notes, but you can't make copies.
Court, please.
So that is the order.
Njengoba izolo masisaqala inkantolo yayithe abameli bethu baboniswe namadokodo lawa ekuthi Pretoria ukhuluma ngawo. Manje izolo bekwamele afundwe lawo madokodo kodwa kungayenzwa amakhophi. Manje kunokungazwani phakathi komshushisi nabameli benu bona ingathi bebafuna ukuthi bathole yonke into ujaji uthi bona banelungelo yokuthi bangafunda yonke kodwa bangatholi amakhophi okwamanje ngenxa yokuthi lamadokodo ilawo akhuluma ngoNtanzi ukuthi kunamanye amacala ayikuthi mhlawumbe bangagcina sekuthi bamthwesa wona okwamanje akakathweswa lawo macala yingakho ukuthi akwamenanga ukuthi kukhishwe amakhophi kodwa ukufunda nokwenza ama-notes abameli benu banalelo lungelo lokuthi bangabhala ukuthi mhlawumbe nanoma ubrigadier ekhuluma ephana ngokufaka bese bakwazi ukubuza ngalento eyikuthi nabo bayibonile.
And I'm saying this because there's evidence here through Sergeant Mokhano that he doesn't know you, Mr. Ngomezulu, and your attorney. He doesn't know how you acquired that information which is confidential to the police. Do you remember that?
Yes, exhibit VV.
Yeah, you remember. The investigating officer in that matter, he says he doesn't know how you gained access. You are not to blame, your attorney. He doesn't know how your attorney gained access to that confidential information. It was not officially acquired because according to Mokhano, if it was, he has to authorize it. So it's not just a simple thing like.
Ngoba inkantolo ikhulumisa nisakhumbula nyakenye kunelinye iphepha ekuthi liye laphuma nagcina nani senibonile ithi inkosi yenkantolo uSergeant Mokhano uye wathi akazi ukuthi ubabu Ramsipili uyithole kanjani lawo maphepha ngaphambi kokuthi azokhishwa nakini ngoba lawo maphepha lawo bekwamaphepha ayikuthi abhalelwe akwamelanga ukuthi abonwe yiwonke umuntu yingakho nawo lawa inkosi yenkantolo ithi akwamelanga ukuthi kwenziwe amakhophi azobonwa yiwonke umuntu ingakho efuna ukuvikela lamadokodo.
And if you remember, Mokhano said his job and deliberations are governed by the Official Secrets Act. Did he say that? I mean, he said that. That's why I'm making such an order. Remember, there's a...
As the court raises, my lord, will be given an opportunity to make our submissions also on this issue.
Which one is it now?
This issue of that you are dealing with the copies of dockets.
No, I've made an order, Ms. Mchololo. Dockets will be read in court.
As the court raises.
What submissions do you want to make? So have you read the dockets?
No,
How long do you need? 3 weeks? 2 months?
We have not yet received them.
Hello?
We have not yet received them.
Yeah, because he says you said you wanted to make copies. Where are the dockets?
They are available, Manada, with Brigadier Gini.
Where's Brigadier Gini? Hey, yeah.
Lamadokodo ababazama ukufunda izono njengoba babadala impikiswano kodwa akhona akubrigadier naye angase wakhipha ukuthi abameli bakwazi ukuwafunda.
So how long do you need? Because yesterday you had about two and a half hours. How long do you need?
I think we don't even know how many pages are there and what.
I saw those dockets, they're thin. I was looking at them.
They are thin, madam.
Yeah, thin. Then, I was looking at them.
I
How long do you take to read
them,
100 pages?
I can't confirm their thickness of their thickness. But I think we need to be headed first with the docket, because it's not only reading them, it's to read and analyze them at the same time.
If I
Maybe
may
10
say,
minutes break, then we come back to the docket and indicate how long can we take to peruse them.
indeed, that was going to be the suggestion, that we adjourn for 10 minutes, then we assess the dockets and see how long.
Where are the dockets? I want to see them,
Yeah.
because I saw them yesterday.
Yes. They are with the Brigadier Gininda Malot. He's just parking outside.
It's parking.
Yes, I'm told he's just making his way to court.
Oh, I see.
I think he was delayed on the way. So-
Uyeza ubrigadier ubekade enento esambambile kodwa uyeza yangena amadlela enkantolo.
We request that we adjourn at least for 10 minutes, Malot.
No, I'll adjourn after he comes. I want to have a look at the thickness. I saw thin dockets.
As a good process.
Bose enkantolo ithi izomlinda aze afike bese ke kula izothatha isinqumo ukuthi isikhathi esingakanani elimisa ukuthi abantu bakwazi ukubona lawo madokhumenti.
As soon as he's here, Malot, we'll let the court know. Maybe the court can just wait in the corridor.
Yeah, I'm comfortable if I'm seated here. You should get out and leave me alone if you're uncomfortable. If you need the whole day, you'll get the whole day. But the proviso, as I say, is you read them here in the presence of the prosecutor. Because I remember I once handled a case of a certain police general. He was charged with whatever. Was amongst the charges was allegations of fraud and what have you. And what happened is they just used the Official Secrets Act to classify the documents. I don't know if you were in that group of prosecutors. And the prosecutor decided they can't go on because about that charge because
The documents need to be declassified first.
yeah. But who says the court can't do it? Because you've got to explain why you classify them. I'm charged with killing a person, then I classify the post-mortem report. That's how nonsensical sometimes the classification is being abused in this country. Are you aware of that?
Yes, possibly.
Oh, somebody just classified
Such instances.
the post-mortem report, and as a result, you can't prove why this guy was, what is the reason for his death or her death.
Yes.
It's classified.
Yes. Even the instance that the court alluded to of fraud, I mean, it's nothing secretive about
No,
documents that are in the docket. But most probably it relates to tender procedures,
yes,
procurement procedures, and all those things.
that's it. And those documents were classified. And the joke is, when another head of intelligence was appointed, he immediately declassified those documents, and the charges were reinstated. You remember Sergeant Mukhale said after the disclosure of that document that he now fears for the life of his witnesses.
Indeed, my lord, and that is the main reason why.
Yes, you remember, he said, I thought me saying that. He says, now I fear for the life of the witnesses.
Yes.
But you see, court officers are court officers before they are attorneys or advocates of their own clients. They take an oath to uphold the law and the constitution of the country. So if the case has not been fully investigated, they know the consequences.
Yes.
And then you have access to the docket. The matter is not fully investigated or finalized, being investigated. But here there are special circumstances which make this court to say they can peruse the docket, because it may be Mr. Gomezulu and others, they want to use the contents of the docket in disproving the allegations against their clients. I don't know.
And indeed, my lord, the state wants to meet the defense halfway, but there's a serious concern that if copies are made of those dockets, that might spell the end of the investigation in those matters. So there's really a serious concern here.
Yeah. But under apartheid, I can tell you, the judges of old, they had so much power, they could ask, why do you want to use the docket, Mr. Gomezulu? And you say, hey. And then the judge reads the docket alone, not with you. Doesn't even make the docket available to you. And then he tells you, I've read the docket, this exigency you are dealing with, I don't think you need this information. There was no accountability then. Then the judge, he makes that ruling. That he doesn't think it's relevant. It's relevant. You can take him on review and appeal, fine.
That's the reason for that doctrine, Sesanto Ratune Leges Case et Ipse Lex. Yeah. If the reason of the law ceases to exist, the law must fall away. So on the introduction of the Constitution, that that law had to fall away, not by privilege or by choice.
Yeah, no, I say the law has changed.
That's correct.
Yeah. But when we were practicing, the judge could even determine what evidence should be led in the interests of the security of the state. Hello?
The attorneys back then challenged it because the court once asked me whether I challenged the lawfulness of the arrest of 1 and 2. So that Security Act, did the judge challenge it?
Hey. Yeah, some of us try to challenge all those, but the judge, because the judges had such a wide discretion, they would listen to you and after that make a ruling. But now you are entitled in terms of the Constitution to challenge anything and everything. I'm level.
I think the current position is that there must always be a connection between the exercise of power and the rationale for such exercise of power. So there's that balancing act currently.
The Administrative Act, what's Act 60? What's the section? There must be a rational basis for the decision which a judge takes, or any person who exercises public power.
Yes.
Is that not the law?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, it must be based on rationality. And that was developed after the 1960, is it 60? sorry, 1966, the Constitution? The first
1996, yeah.
1996, so the first
Yes.
Constitution.
Yes,
Yeah. Administrative law was developed then.
yes.
But before then, it was just difficult.
Indeed, my lord. I wonder if we should not take the adjournment. I wonder what the hold-up is.
Okay, let's adjourn, we'll call you. Yes, quite.
In fact, the court warrant of arrest. Have you seen that?
I've seen when I was basically perusing the docket, my lord, but like I said, this is not my matter. The matter is assigned to Sergeant Mkhane, and then in case it then is investigated by other people. But yes, I've seen a statement that seems to talk to that, my lord.
ubonile na ukuthi uqiniselani Buthelezi yena ubekade eboshwe ngemva kokuthi kuye kwakhishwa noma kwatholwa incwadi egunyazwa ukuthi aboshwe uthi lokho ngikubonile kodwa akulona icala emina bengisebenza kulo kodwa ngibonile lento ewibuzayo.
And I'm saying this, my lord, because I don't want to speculate or state certain things on those matters as a fact when I was not privy to. I can talk to 636 because I'm directly involved. Here, I just came with the docket because I was asked to. So I can assist the court as much as I can, my lord, but I can't commit on certain aspects that I'm really not 100% privy to.
Futhi ke khona lapho angifune ukuqagela izinto ekuthi lezo ngizibonile ingakho ngingafuna ukuqagela ngikhulume izinto engingazazi mina ngifuna ukusiza inkantolo ngakho konke engingakwazi ukuthi ngiyisize ngakho.
But Mr. Kinenda, there's one problem I have in relation to the evidence of Sergeant Mkhane. When we confronted him with the information relating to cast number 163, he kept on saying everything is with Brigadier Kinenda. The docket is with Brigadier Kinenda, to the extent that he failed to secure the docket until he concluded his. Who must we rely on between you and the evidence of Sergeant Mkhane?
My lord, I can say before Sergeant Mkhane concluded, I think on the last day, the docket was found, before his evidence was concluded, and I spoke to Advocate Baloy about it. It is true, my lord, that he had difficulty in accessing where the docket was kept with other dockets in the safe. There was difficulty in terms of locating, because during that time, the person, if I recall, was in possession of that key, was not around. They've undergone investigation out of the province. That was the challenge, not that the docket was with me personally. No, it wasn't with me, my lord.
Manje phakathi kwakho no Sergeant Mkhane sikholwe bani ngoba ngalesikhathi ela ubekade ethi akakwazi ukuthola idokodo ngoba likuwe manje ubrigadier uphendula uthi uyakhumbula ukuthi ngaphambi kokuthi uSergeant Mkhane aqede ubufakazi bakhe lilatholakala idokodo ngoba ngalesikhathi elibele phana ngobufakazi umuntu obekade ephethe iskhiya salapho sala amadocket ahlala khona bekade engekho ingakho ekade ehlupheka ukuthi atholele le dokodo.
I'm putting to you that after perusal of the docket, there's nothing, absolutely nothing, directly or indirectly, that links accused number 2 with the murder case.
The statement, my lord, the statement mentioned his name. It implicates him, and Sergeant Mkhane also disposed the affidavit. A warning statement was taken from accused 2. I can take it insofar as that. If counsel then wants to question the extent of the evidence, I think the IO will be a better person to take it further, my lord.
Ngiyakutshela ngiyakwazisa futhi nokuthi mangiqeda ukufunda leli yadokodo ayikho into ebandakanisa uNtanzi naleli dokodo lakwa Nongoma. Uma ephendula ubrigadier uthi istatement siyasho futhi siphinda sichaze negama lika Ntanzi nokuthi wenzeni. Uma ingabe ummeli angafuna ukuthi lelo daba alibuze futhi azalibuze futhi angase usajeni loyano yenze istatement nalabo abanye angakwazi ukuthi nabo ababuze kodwa ubrigadier uthi yena ufakaza ngalokho akubona manje.
Thank you. Brigadier, the matter has been finalized in Pietermaritzburg High Court. Was there any application for separation of trials if there were more than one accused persons?
No, not from us. Like I said, my lord, it's a number of dockets. I know that insofar as accused 2, Counsel has seen the statement, he would have seen that there are a number of names mentioned there. It's not only him, and I don't want to go there unless I'm asked my lord. And they are mentioned in relation to a number of dockets that were committed in different places, different provinces. Those dockets, some of them, and most of them were collected dockets. Those that were sub judice copies were collected at the time, and then later, not to disturb those proceedings, original were collected. And we're of the view, my lord, because of security reason, safety reason, the magnitude of the perpetrators or suspects that were involved there, that we should rather try and conclude the investigation, present the docket to the DPP for centralization, so that when you move on one jurisdiction, because otherwise we would have had a situation where, for example, accused number 1 is taken all over the country, my lord. By so doing, beside the cost implication, there's a risk factor, because the crimes involved are very, very serious and dangerous cases involved. We're talking about premeditated murders, firearms being involved, small firearms, ammunition, high-profile individuals being assassinated across the country. It's not an easy situation where you can just separate. There's a risk factor that needed to be considered.
Manje-ke njengoba kunommangalelwa oyedwa oye wakwetshwa, kuye kwaba mhlawumbe nesicelo sokuthi lamacala ahlukaniswe, uthi ubrigadier cha, ngoba leli cala icala eyikuthi kunabantu abaningi ababandakanekayo kulo leli cala. Akusuntanzi yedwa, maningi amagama akhulunyiwe, akafune kuwasho ngaphandle kokuthi inkosi yenkantolo ingathi awasho lawo magama, ngoba abantu abaningi futhi amacala ambalwa noma amaningi ayikuthi ayenzekile ey'ndaweni ey'hlukile. Ingakho ikuthi akuzange kuthiwa lo muntu uNtanzi aze ahlanganiswe kuwo wonke lamacala, ngoba bekwamele ukuthi asuswe endaweni kusuka kule ndawo aye kwenye indawo lokho kwamele kuvikelwe futhi abantu naye avikelwe, ngoba kungamacala amaningi ahlanganisa ibhamu nezinhlamvu eyikuthi zikhona kuwo lawo macala la.
Mr. Brigadier Gininda, let me just be honest to say there's only one statement under 163 which mentions the name of Bongani Ntanzi, and that statement, that single statement, is attached to 3 other different dockets, and it relates to the merits on 163. I'm not sure whether you made copies and attached to other dockets that does not relate with other cases, but the subject of what I'm concerned about is that there's only one statement by Simphiwe Buthelezi, who only talks about something you overheard.
I don't agree. That's not my understanding of what the statement says, my lord. It's not something that you overheard. That's the first part. Then the second part, in that statement, he talks about various issues. He mentions issues of murder. He mentions issues of hits in the taxi-related environment. He mentions issues of firearms. And that is why those statements, and in the warning statement, my lord, warning statement, when accused 2 was questioned, he was questioned in relation to different cases. Those cases are mentioned in the warning statement. Counsel have seen them. So that is why the statements relate to different matters. It was made by one person, but it implicates accused 2 with other people on various different matters, including the 163 docket.
Chike umeli yena uma ebuka kune statement esodwa eyikuthi sikhuluma ngoNtanzi, kodwa leso statement sifakwe kumadokodo ahlukile. Ubrigadier uma iphendula uthi uyala leso statement akusona statement esifanayo kulamadokodo. Statement eyikuthi lo muntu wakaButhelezi ushilo ukuthi kwenzakeleni futhi amacala ahlukile, kuhlanganisa amacala wokubulala, amacala weyibhamu, amacala weyinhlamvu, amacala ahlukile eyikuthi uButhelezi ukhulume ngawo, ingakho istatement zihlukile. And my lord, the accused is raising his hand.
Tell me, you are saying, I mean, you senior people, you are saying Simphiwe Buthelezi, that's the deponent.
That's correct, my lord.
You say he links, his statement links the accused with several cases.
Correct, my lord.
Including firearms, ammunition, etc.
Correct, my lord.
And now Mr. Gomez says, no, that is not so.
My Lord, it is so because not
Where's the statement?
it is here, my
No,
Lord.
just read it. Yes. Because I can't have two officers of the court. Where you're a senior officer.
My Lord, can I make a request? The statement is here, and in this statement, I wanted to say the part that he also mentions this case.
May I mention it? Because
Yes. Now, my
we
concern.
have two people reading the same statement and giving it a different interpretation. So I want to hear.
Yes. My Lord, can I make a request? Just a quick request. In this statement, I don't know, the court can just advise. There are names mentioned here of witnesses which are known to this accused, because this statement does not only involve accused two. I didn't want to mention the other accused. And this is the part that...
No, just read that statement with everybody there, every name there. Jesus.
manje kune statement ukuthi wena ukhuluma ngaso ummeli naye ukhuluma ngaso ukuthi nobabili ningabantu ukuthi niphethe ikhundla eziphezulu nikhuluma ngestatement ingathi azifani manje inkosi enkantolo ithi funda
And whose statement is that? Is that
yonke into
the
ebhalwe
defendant there? What's his name?
It's Simphiwe Buthelezi, my Lord.
Mr. Gomez, are you referring to that?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, just read the statement so that we
funda
all know.
statement lisika Buthelezi.
Objection per se.
Who's that?
It's not an objection.
So what is it per se?
It's just a concern that I have in view of the order that the court gave me. Remember the court said that in the interest of privilege or in the
Yeah, said that.
secrecy, the information that is contained in the direction not actually be revealed.
Yes, I said that. But what do you do, Mr. Mnisi, when you have two senior advocate, a brigadier,
Yes.
they read the same statement
Yes.
and they're telling this court different things?
I think there's a way in which that can be resolved.
No, me, I don't want secrets. Just read it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
manje inkantolo ithi afunde namagama walabantu akhulunywe kule statement nangokho bekwamele ubrigadier bekathi ucela ukuthi angafundwa inkosi yenkantolo ithi afunde asho nalawo magama wabantu uyafunda ubrigadier.
I, Simphiwe Buthelezi, state under oath in English. I am an adult male born on the 5th of March 1974, residing in Nongoma, KwaZulu-Natal, and currently unemployed and no contact number at the moment. I know Qiniselani Buthelezi and know known Mkhwanazi from the same area, or known him as Mkhwanazi from the same area in Mahlabatini village in Nongoma, where we both grew up. He is a known hitman around Natal and Johannesburg. Qiniselani has committed many crimes such as murder, possession of different caliber of firearms. Some of the firearms that Qiniselani used in killing people are supplied to him by a well-known gun supplier by the name of Ntanzi, Mafika Ntanzi, who also comes from Nongoma area. Ntanzi Mafika is a very quiet gentleman and no one cannot suspect him. He is a firearm supplier and ammunition. Bongane Mafika Ntanzi is working in TA6 MT Carltonville, where he is operating from together. My Lord, I'm struggling, so I'll try to read, make sense of what I'm reading. From together with brother, operating from together, I can't see, operating together with Basotho nationals. He's working together and operating with Basotho national. They supply the hitmen and others kind of firearms and ammunition around the country, and somehow here the firearms or sometimes hire firearms to hitmen. Qiniselani Buthelezi is a very connected person and some of his case are thrown out of court when he is arrested. Kendeselani, who sometimes hire people to help with bribe the police and the prosecutors and etc. and then the magistrate, and he even bragged that around November 2012 he kept, I can't see this much, but he kept possession of, or he was found in possession of an AK-47 and ammunition, and was the court will bear with me, it's handwriting issue. He further told that the firearm was Bongani's Ntanzi's, Mafika Ntanzi, and he further told me that the AK-47 was one used to rob ShopRite in Fostoras by Bongani Ntanzi and another man by the name of Nkani Ntuli and other unknown people to him. Policemen were shot. Around January 2014, I decided to move from Nongoma to stay in Mazulu Hostel in Fostoras to try and make a living for myself. So I can so that I can make money. I suppose that's what I wanted to say, my lord. And I stayed working as at a taxi rank, marshal car and minibus. Sure. And the driver with I know approach by the name of taxi drivers. Sure, my lord, you just have to bear with me. This for a gun to possess the firearm. And so it seems, my lord, he says he was approached by somebody at the taxi rank, taxi driver looking for a gun, or he was approached by a taxi driver looking for a gun to protect himself, and he specifically said he want a hot firearm, mentioning unlicensed one known as a pistol. I immediately contacted Kiliselani to hook me up with Mafika Ntanzi. He now stays, who now stays in Johannesburg. Mafika Ntanzi brought a 9mm pistol, and I took it to the taxi driver, and a 9mm myself. Then he received cash for the said transaction and ammunition, because the middleman of the firearm and ammunition, as a middleman of the firearm and ammunition, I was, sure, my lord, my sincere apology. This handwriting is difficult for me sometimes. Bongani Ntanzi used two firearms in Fosora's house and surroundings, and had some secret meetings at the hostel with other people, and share, I can't say what he said, or share certain things with me, or share certain things with me, and I am talking about June 2014. There was a time around October 2014 where we used to hang out around with the hostel from home in Nongoma by the name of Carlos. There was a time in 2014 where I used to hang out with the homies from Nongoma, and the name of those people, my lord, seems to be Carlos, Mapisa, Nkani, Muzi, in a room where Kwabeni resides. Kwabeni is also from Nongoma. Around November 2014, Bongani Ntanzi
started to give me attention. He was always visiting me and sometimes bring firearm to see, to people, to show to people. I also noticed that he was not the same Bongane I know. He became distant and not talk like before. And when I asked him, he said something is waking him, but I must not worry. He is sorry. He will solve it. We continue selling firearms to Keniselani and other people, especially in KwaZulu Natal, because there is a high demand of unlicensed firearm and ammunition. There was a time where Ntanzi Mafiga worked from Carltonville to Rustenburg. He found a better job in the MTE and he still continued supplying firearms and ammunition. There was a time around the year 2017 where Bongane sold a 9mm pistol with ammunition to Keniselani. That pistol had a special name and made Keniselani to have power and bragging that he is carrying a very Payson, I don't know what it means, my lord, Payson pistol with a special hand, something special handmade, my love, and it was where it fostered us. I don't know where Bongane Mafika Ntanzi got this firearm from, and he didn't want to show me his supplier. Bongane Ntanzi was staying in Rustenburg and making money securing firearms, and I also heard from Keniselani that Bongane is now making more money in that province. He also supplies more firearms in Marikana and is understanding where I am involved. Bongane Mafika Ntanzi invited me to visit him in Rustenburg at Pukeng, and he told Coach will go with me, my lord. The handwriting of the person who took the statement is just a bit difficult. Where he kept there and overheard him talking on the phone with my piece, or invited me to visit him in Carltonville in Rustenburg, where I overheard him talking on the phone with my PISA that they did a good job by killing a union member in Marikana. And my PISA must make sure that Kwabeni pay them the money because he did not want to be, he must pay the money because he did not want to be traced. Well, must make sure he must pay them the money because he did not want to be traced with bank accounts. I heard that the person that was killed is a big person and very powerful, and I asked him, is he also started killing people? And he said to me, it is a it is a man's job that he had to do because he need money to make a better living, and I warned him about it. Bongane used to keep small quantity of firearm and ammunition in his room to set or secure rear out further in the confrontation. And yeah, red. Sure. And he used to keep firearms in his room, and the roof of his room in a bag, a cover, then a blanket. I used to move around Nongoma and Fortuna, pointing some job selling firearms for me and Bongane Ntanzi and Keniselani, and was our customer, because by now and then a higher price. Keniselani, sometimes he knew the firearm. He used the firearms to kill people, and I discovered that Keniselani had a lot of cases which is being arrested or investigated for killing people. Around June 2020, I went to Fortuna and had Muzi Sibia and his girlfriend. Muzi Sibia had serious, I don't know, his girlfriend regarding his seriously hit his girlfriend regarding the Senzo Meyiwa case, and attempted his father paid a policeman to cancel up the case. I also heard that Bongane Ntanzi, Mapisa, Carlos Nkani, Ntuli are involved in the murder of Senzo Meyiwa. I was very angry at them because they have killed a very important person who was the national goalkeeper of our football club and Orlando Pirates. Around May 2020, I was approached and visited by Sergeant Mabena and Sergeant Mukhane from the South African Police Service. I didn't know how they found me because it was Carlos, by Carlos. And they started asking me, how do I know Keniselani Buthelezi and Bongane Ntanzi? Sergeant Mabena told me that I am a gun supplier and I am supplying the hitmen with firearms and ammunition, and a lot of people were killed. And I became concerned and started shivering. I then cooperated with the police and told them what I know about Keniselani, Bongane Ntanzi. I told that I heard that Keniselani is arrested in Nongoma, and they asked me my gun involvement with Ntanzi, and explained that I was a middleman. My gun dealings with Ntanzi, and I explained that I was a middleman,
just making money for myself. I voluntarily decided to work
with the police to trace Bongane Ntanzi in Rustenburg. On the 16th of June 2020, I took the police to Pukeng and showed them a place where Bongane Ntanzi is staying. I also positively I think it's identified him or pointed him, my lord, to Sergeant Mabena and Sergeant Mohane. Bongane was working at the time because of COVID-19. I am prepared to take the police to meet the witnesses that are also threatened by Ntanzi, Mapisa, Carlos Ntuli, and Keniselani. And their further names are Joseph Dambo, Fuzile Bali, Ntando Kumalo, Tepo Mukwena, Nontobeko Sitole, Dikeledi Sirape, and John Siyoka. I know and understand the contents, so that's basically the oath, my lord, and then it was signed and commissioned by Sergeant Mohane on 2020 June the 16th at 1400 hours.
Isona ke leso statement sakhe.
My apologies, my lord, the handwriting, I was really struggling, my lord.
Isona statement sakhe Simphiwe Buthelezi ukuthi ngiyathemba ukuthi nisizwile side kodwa uma ngisiqaphuna yena uthi uNtanzi bekade kuumuntu ophana ngeibhamu onika inkabi ukuthi zishaye abantu abahlukahlukene futhi ukhuluma namagama wabantu ukuthi obani labo bantu ukuthi uNtanzi wayekade banika ibhamu naye uke kwaba nesikhathi esebenza erank la ukuthi baye bamcela ukuthi kudingeka isibhamu esithize waxhumana noNtanzi wamnika sona leso sibhamu wakhokhelwa futhi kunomunye umuntu oyekuthi uye wasebenzisa isibhamu ebesinamandla kakhulu lo muntu wayekade hamba eqhoma yonke indawo ukuthi yena ushaya ngesinye isibhamu esingeke sivinjwe futhi ukhuluma ngalolu daba lecala lika Senzo Meyiwa ukuthi uNtanzi noSibiya kuke kwakhulunywa ubaba kaSibiya naye ingathi uke wakhokhela amaphoyisa ukuthi azame ukucisha leli cala la ukuthi uma uqhubeka uthi yena uye wahambisa amaphoyisa uMabena noMkhane wabayisa ephuteni labe uNtanzi ehlala khona wafika naye wakhomba uNtanzi ngaleso sikhathi uNtanzi wayekade esebenza ngaleso Northwest la ukuthi ubekade esebenza emayini futhi uyaqhubeka uthi uNtanzi ubekade emnika ezinye ibhamu ubekade engazi yena ukuthi uNtanzi uzithatha phi ithemakezwa uma kukhulunywa ukhuluma amagama wenu nobahlanu madoda uthi ithemakezwa ukuthi nina nani ingxenye yalokubunalwa kuka Robert Senzo Meyiwa uthi wanithuthelela kakhulu ngoba nina nanikade nibulele unozinti wezwe futhi neOrlando Pirates uthi ke yena ke uzimisela ukuthi uyazwisisa yonke into ayibhalile futhi uyazimisela nokuthi angafunga. Thank you my lord, I just summarized the statement.
Yes, I've listened to the statement.
That's correct.
Yes, Mr. Buthelezi. I mean, Mr. Ngomezulu. Any other questions?
Yes. Do you know that this Simphiwe Buthelezi died in 2022?
Yes, I've heard, my lord. He was also a witness. Subsequent to this information, I also pursued him, because he mentioned issues in relation to this matter, and followed up with him, and he gave us a statement, which is in this docket 636, which is disclosed to the defense, and he does make implications of the other accused in that statement. So I am aware that he died subsequent to that, my lord.
Uyazi ukuthi uSimphiwe Buthelezi lo wale statement yena washona ngo-2022 uthi yebo ngiyazi ngoba ngaya nakuye bengade ngifuna ngiphenya ngazo lezi document azenzile ngoba wayekade ekhuluma ngezinto ezibucayi kakhulu ingakho ngiye ngaya kuye ngifuna olunye ulwazi ngiyazi ukuthi ngempela yena washo.
But the other witnesses are still alive, my lord.
Kodwa abanye abofakazi bona basaphila.
All right. Regarding docket 163, we talk about murder in Kwanongo. According to that statement, I'm not talking about the truthfulness of what is there. It talks about a murder in Marikana. There's no mention of murder in Kwanongo. Do you agree?
No, it says that the man was involved in killing people all
Yes.
over. It says that. And so when the police, the investigators, they were plotting these matters because he made one statement, made various of different cases. Even then the Marikana matter, he didn't say this is the person. He gave like a prognosis of the things. Then we analyzed and got to a specific docket where indeed a high profile person was found who was a union member who was assassinated. That's how we got to that docket. So even the matter that is referring to, he gives a direction of where the matter occurred. We dissected sort of that statement and we were able to identify those dockets and pull them one by one. So yes, if the question is, he didn't say at this specific place this person was killed, is not the same, but it is clear if you read the statement that people were killed, firearms were used, and indeed Mr. Buthelezi was convicted for murder and there's firearms also involved.
Ubonile na kule statement osanda kusifunda ukuthi uButhelezi uthe kubulawe umuntu eMarikana, akakhulumanga ngokubulawa komuntu wase Nongoma. Uthi yebo, kodwa kulesi statement ushilo ukuthi kubulawe abantu endaweni ezihlukile. Ingakho nathi ngesikade siphenya kulezi indawo ezihlukile, akusukuthi bekwamele siphenye kuphela kuleli yacala lasePhukeni ngoba ukhulume ngeindawo ezihlukile. Futhi naye uqinisela Buthelezi uye egwetshwa ngecala ekuthi belikade kukhulunywe ngalo kuso lesi statement.
And my lord, I can say the essence of this statement is that there was, I believe, a reason for Sergeant Mokhane to make a move on accused number 2 on the 16th. That is really the essence of the basis of why they approach him. A lot of things were said there, and I can tell this court, if I have to reveal the dockets that actually we had to pursue or come to know about based on this information, others that we've got, it's more than 30, my lord. And it's serious
Dockets
matters.
of murder.
Murder, attempted murder, firearms, it's a lot, my lord, that came. It's a lot. I can tell this court without it's a lot. We are not even done, and I don't want to say bad things about this accused because I'm being asked now by counsel for accused 1 and 2, but a lot has come up, my lord. So it was not baseless, it is the truth.
Manje ke ukuthi uMokhane aye ayofunana noNtanzi uthi kwasasikhona isizathu ngoba nqaba yamacala ayikuthi sisawaphenya, amanye seqediwe ukuphenya ngawo, amanye asaphenywa namacala. Uthi uma engathi nje ukwabala angaba lapha ko-30, uthi akafune ukubonakala ingathi umuntu okhuluma uNtanzi kabi, kodwa amacala amaningi, amanye ahlanganisa ukubulalwa kwabantu, amanye ahlanganisa ibhamu nezinhlamvu ezingekho emthethweni.
So let me just put it straight to you. I'm just putting to you to comment, and this is what actually emanate from the version of accused number 2. You have unlawfully and wrongfully arrested accused number 2 by accusing him with the murder charge, with the murder case under 163. And it is further my version that you had no other reason to contain him other than to put him under arrest so that you can solicit a confession from him.
My lord, maybe just for clarity, is the statement saying I have unlawfully arrested the accused 2 made in the general sense that the police, or is it directed to me in person?
You.
No, but I didn't arrest accused number 2.
Well,
He was arrested by, I was not there even when he was arrested, my lord. So that cannot be true. Yes, Sergeant Mokhane, and Sergeant Mokhane submitted his arrest statement. It's in the docket. It clearly indicates that he arrested him. I was not there.
Manje ummeli uthi umangalelo wesibini yena uthi uboshwe ngendlela engekho emthethweni, amaphoyisa hlangana naye uSergeant Mokhane. Uthi ubrigadier yena ubona ukuthi bambophe ngendlela esemthethweni, futhi noSergeant Mokhane naye washo kwi-statement sakhe naye ufakazile ukuthi uNtanzi uboshwe ngendlela esemthethweni ngoba kwekade kuneyinsolakalo zokuthi ubandakanyeka kwicala.
That is to say, On the 16th of June, when he was arrested, the following day, the 17th, he was interrogated about the death of Senzo Meyiwa, not about the Nongoma case.
But that's not what is contained in the docket. It's not true. The warning statement, my lord, which it's in the docket, counsel must have seen it.
Whose warning statement is that?
For accused number 2.
It has never been.
For accused number 2, the docket
Have you
is
seen it, Mr.?
No, I haven't seen it.
the warning statement.
Yes.
No, but my lord, it's attached. Let me just
We are
check.
dealing with the confession and the pointing out.
My lord, the warning statement is A8 in Nongoma 163. It indicates that he was questioned for this Nongoma 163 and other matters, because these matters they were in with Nongoma case 163. A warning statement was taken from accused number 2 and he signed after the warning statement was taken, where he denied all the allegations. Allegations were put to him. Case numbers were reflected, not one case. This Marikana case was mentioned. The robbery case was mentioned to him as articulated by the Simphiwe and Sergeant Mokane, and they were put to him. He signed where he says he denies all the allegations.
Uthi ke ummeli uNtanzi yena uthi uboshwe ngendlela engekho emthethweni ngoba uboshwa namuhla nge-16 kaJune kusasa sekabuzwa ngecala lika Senzo Meyiwa. Ubrigadier uthi cha, lokho akwenzwakalanga kanjalo, ubuzwe ngamacala ahlukile futhi nakwi-statement la ngalesikhathi ecebiswa uye watshelwa uNtanzi. Ummeli uthi akasibonanga leso statement, kodwa ubrigadier uthi sikhona la sinobufakazi buka AA la ukuthi uNtanzi wayekade ebuzwa ngama-case number ahlukile, amacala ahlukile, futhi nokuthi kwenzakeleni uNtanzi elibele ephika, kodwa ugcine seyikuthi uyasayina kuso leso statement.
Furthermore, my lord, A5 of this docket, this portion that the court asked counsel to look at, A5, it's a notice of right, 14A, where this case 163 is written. It was made to accused to by Sergeant Mokane, and it states clearly it's a murder charge. He was given this notice of rights and signed, and Sergeant Mokane signed.
Futhi la kunencwadi eyikuthi ikubufakazi A5 la ukuthi ikhuluma ngecala lemeda, kukhulunywa ngalo lelicala le163 la ukuthi uSergeant Mokane usayinile nawe Ntanzi usayinile khona la.
I think you fail to understand what I was saying. When he was arrested on the 16th of June 2020, he was arrested under the charge of murder. Case number 16304/2018. That's what I was saying. I did not dispute that. But what I'm putting to you is that you use the docket to secure Ntanzi for the purpose of obtaining a confession from him.
No.
Number 2, to add on that, there's a docket 534/06/2020 for Sloras. I just want to know as well on that aspect, was Ntanzi charged and was he brought to court? Was that docket registered with the Sloras police station?
I'm not sure what docket is that, my lord, but it's that Phosphorus 534. I'll have to be
Which
told.
docket is that now?
The one
534, which? What is
for
the charge?
possession, my lord.
Possession of firearm,
No, for possession of drugs.
drugs.
That's what Mokane told this court.
So, yes, putting it to him that
Yes,
he used it in the case of drugs
that's correct.
to get a confession.
Yes, I'll make a follow-up on that.
To get a confession, fine.
Yes.
When was this docket of drugs opened? You know, Sergeant?
My lord, I don't know. Sergeant,
When was
it's
it
not my
opened?
docket.
Gomezulu?
According to Sergeant Mokane, the docket was open in Sloras.
Yeah, on which date? Because you're linking it to a confession. I just want to know
Yes,
how related.
yes.
Uthi ubrigadier lelicala lasephosphorus leyidakamizwa yena akalazi ngoba akulona icala eyena asebenza kulo, kodwa kuthiwa uSergeant Mokane ukhulume ngalo.
May I remind the court that when we requested to see the dockets, both 534, 06-2020 and 163, they were not provided to the defense.
Yeah, but you can approach your client. Was he ever arrested under case number 534 in connection with drugs?
That's what is
And did he
denied.
appear in court? When did he appear in court? Because
never
I want you, just listen to me.
Yes.
You are the one who are linking that docket of dealing in drugs. And you're saying this witness, Brigadier Ginanda, used it as a pressure to obtain a confession from your client. Is that what you're saying?
That is so, ma'am.
So that's why I want to know, when was the docket opened? That's your client. When was he arrested at least?
May I
Yes,
approach
please.
him? I'm approaching.
Mayinkosi enkantolo ithi ummeli
Let me
azobuza
approach.
ukuthi uye waboshwa nini kuleli cala leyidakamizwa lase-Phosphorus.
My instruction is that for the first time, accused number 2 heard about the the docket under 534 and 163, heard from Sergeant Mukhane. He has never been arrested and never been charged with such cases.
No, that's not how I recall the evidence of Sergeant Mukhale.
Mukhane,
No, not the lady, Mamfundis, as you call him.
I'm referring to the male.
No,
Mukhane.
I know, wasn't Mukhale, sorry, the lady. Wasn't she the investigating officer? Mukhola.
So, no, for accused 2, my lord, it was Sergeant Mukhane, the male.
The male.
The male, yeah.
In relation to, sorry, in
accused
relation
number
to the drugs case.
No, so the drugs case, my lord, it was Sergeant Mukhola, the court is right. But that drugs-related case, it's Tembisa matter,
Yeah.
that is Sergeant Mukhola. The murder docket, and I think the case that counsel is referring to, they saying it's Sergeant Mukhane, so that's the case that I'm lost
The
about.
murder docket, which murder docket is that, sir?
The 163.
The one we're dealing with.
The one we are dealing with. I want to remind the court that accused number 2 was taken to Phosphorus
Yeah,
on the 19th.
yeah, that's when you said they must divert.
Yes, that's when they called Brigadier Giminda, who told them that they must go to Moroka police station.
So my lord, perhaps let me start answering here. It is, I think the question was that they were never arrested. That's what counsel said. He said they were never arrested. I mean, accused 2 was never arrested for 163 and this drug dealing offense.
Yeah,
my
that's-
response, my lord, insofar as 163, because I don't have the contents of the other docket that is referring to. Insofar as 163 of 4/2018, I don't agree with counsel because this is the docket you just read. The notice of rights are here, the warning statement is here, but furthermore, my lord, OB, occurrence book, that have been submitted as evidence in this court, were presented, and it is clear that accused 2, after the arrest of the 16th, he was detained at the police station under this case number. So it will be incorrect that he was not arrested for this case number. And then he was then booked out, I think on the 19th, in the morning hours, to court. This is the day now where they made a diversion and went to make a confession. So insofar as 163, I can confirm, my lord, that he was arrested. The other matter is the one that I'm saying, I don't want to say wrong things, my lord.
Uthi akafuna ukukhuluma izinto engasizona ubrigadier isikhulukazi uma kukhulunywa ngaleli cala leyidakamizwa uthi lelo akanalo ulwazi ngalo alaziyo yileli le163 la ukuthi uye uNtanzi uye waboshwa futhi Ntathakusa uye wakhishwa eyiswa enkantolo uthi ilona icala alaziyo uma kuthiwa uNtanzi akazange aboshwe uthi ngaleli lika 163 unesiqiniseko sokuthi uNtanzi waboshwa.
All right, let's just deal with 163 according to your evidence. Was he formally charged under docket 163? Was he ever brought to court under 163? Did he appear in Nongoma court?
My Lord, we dealt with this. I think I did indicate that yes, he was processed, the formal processes.
Yes,
And
yes.
what I was reported is that when he was taken to Phosphorus, where they intended to transfer him that side, there was, the matter was not enrolled together with another matter. That's what I was informed. I was not part of this process, but that's what I know, my Lord. What I do know is that indeed on the OB, he was booked out for court purposes, my Lord.
Kuleli cala le 163 uNtanzi uye wathweswa na amacala wayiswa enkantolo futhi wavela na uthi ubrigadier mayiphendula yena unolwazi alizwe bamcebisa ukuthi uNtanzi ngempela yena uye waboshwa ukuyovela kwamanje kulayi ukuthi baye bamcebisa ukuthi akazange avele ngenxa yokuthi amacala lawo akazange athulwe enkantolo manje uthi lona ulwazi analo ngaleli cala le 163.
And that is why, my Lord, so sorry, Counsel, sorry, I don't mean to interject. My Lord, that is why I said then, subsequent to us knowing that this matter was not enrolled, this is now this one, and there were these other matters in different provinces where I took a decision that let these matters be investigated, concluded, and presented so that we have one central point to move on as and when the investigation are concluded. But the magnitude of work, obviously, then, has overtaken us up to this stage, my Lord.
Ngemva kwalokho kula mina ithema ngizwa ukuthi leli cala alizange lifakwe enkantolo ngiye ngathatha isinqumo sokuthi wonke lamacala lawa ake aphenywe ukuze sizokwazi ukuthi siwahlanganise wonke kodwa ngoba umsebenzi umningi gcine seyikuthi uphuma ezandleni zethu ukuthi sikwazi ukuphenya wonke lamacala ngesikhathi.
So let's get now into the aspect of a confession. Questions arising from the confession that was taken on the 19th of June 22. My instruction is that prior to the taking of that confession by Colonel Mboto, by Colonel Rapato, it's my instruction that accused number 2 was assaulted, subjected to torture. He was choked with the plastic, poured with water, and electrocuted. That was prior to the making of that confession. Will you dispute that?
It is, maybe let me understand, my Lord, also. Is this assault saying I was there, or is it a general remark that happened in my
It's a
absence?
version of accused number 2. I said prior to the, and did not mention the name of anyone, prior to the alleged confession being taken, he was tortured. I'm still coming to the people who tortured him. I'm just putting the basis that he was tortured, electrocuted, and choked.
My Lord, what I know, and I'm answering on the basis of what I know. When I interviewed him the first time on the 18th, with regard to the first alibi, there was no indication from him that he was assaulted. And he was not assaulted also at any stage when he was with me, and that is with regard to the following of his first false alibi, because that is when I came across him. He was given his rights in terms of the Constitution. I spoke to him. I did not detect or see any visible injuries, nor there was any of such complaint reported to me.
Mina ngalesikhathi ngikhuluma naye uNtanzi ngaphambi kokuthi azoyenza lesiya azogunyuluka laphayana, mina ngiye ngakhuluma naye ngimbuza kodwa akazange angicebise ukuthi ushayiwe ulinyaziwe noma unesikhalazo esithize ngaleso sikhathi ngikhuluma naye akazange nje angitshele lo.
Now, so I can say now, moving forward, my lord, then the confession was made when I got hold of the document. This is now after meeting Colonel Rapad. In the documents, because it was given to me by Lieutenant Colonel Rapad, nowhere was it recorded that he's got any injuries or complaints.
Futhi ke ithema ngithola amaphepha asuka ku Lieutenant Colonel Rapad, yena akukho la ukuthi ubhale ukuthi uNtanzi wayekade elimele endaweni ethize.
Now, furthermore, my lord, when he was detained on the 16th, as I said, I assisted in coordinating the occurrence books. Nowhere on the detention office, just after his arrest, also when he was booked in and out on the 17th, the 18th, and 19th, leading to the confession, as well as after, we came back from Pukeng, where the docket of ammunition was registered. All those OPs do not reflect that he was at any stage booked in or visited and found that he is complaining of assault or there are injuries that were seen. So on those bases, my lord, it would be difficult for me to say, he was assaulted. It was not brought to my attention. Evidence that is before this court suggests otherwise, my lord.
Kulamalanga ayikuthi ngibe noNtanzi kusukela nge-18 ukuyofika nge-19 fikela size siya nasePhukeng. Asikho isikhathi la ukuthi kuye kwabhalwa khona phansi kwincwadi ezama-OB ukuthi uNtanzi ushayiwe. Angizange ngibone lapho ukuthi uNtanzi kubhalwe ukuthi ushayiwe noma ulimele endaweni ethize.
On the 18th, in the evening, it's my version that Ntanzi was assaulted near an engine garage by Mabena, Jonathan, Buthelezi, Maphumulo, and yes, it was next to an engine garage in Albertine.
My lord, I was not there. As I indicated, the last time I saw him on the 18th, it's when we were following the alibi in Carltonville. From there, we parted ways. So I will not, I was not there. All I can say, like I said earlier, my lord, there is no indication in the OBs, including the 18th, because I made arrangements to collect those OBs and peruse them. Nowhere it's documented, even on the entries of the 18th. I think he went back to the detention cells in the morning hours of the 19th, my lord, that he was booked in with injuries and subsequently booked out to court with injuries. Or further, when he went back, I think to the police station next to Jamestown, Primrose, as well as Pukeng. None of those occurrence books, my lord, suggest such assertions, my lord. That's how far I can answer it, my lord.
Uthi uNtanzi yena nge-18 ushayiwe ngase-engine garage eshawa uMaphumulo, uButhelezi, uMabena noJonathan. Bebalapho ngaleso sikhathi bemshaya. Uma iphendula ubrigadier uthi mina bengekho. Ngeke ngikwazi ukuphendula lokho, kodwa ithe uma ngihlola ama-OB wonke akukho la ukuthi kubhalwe ukuthi uNtanzi ushayiwe uma ezofakwa esitorisini. Futhi nanoma ekhishwa ayisiwa kuleli police station elase Primrose, akukho nala kubhaliwe ukuthi uNtanzi ukhishwa ushayiwe. Nanoma efika ngale akukho la kubhalwa ukuthi uNtanzi ufika eshayiwe.
And for your information, Sergeant Mkhane, when it was firstly put to him, during cross-examination, that Ntanzi was assaulted next to an engine garage by the persons that I've mentioned, he denied having been next to an engine garage, and he denied the assault. That's what Mkhane said. Firstly denied, but now getting into the AVL shows that there was a stop at engine garage in Albert, and he further confirmed that after he saw that the AVL shows the location of the vehicle at that time.
Yeah, my lord, no, I hear what counsel is saying, but it's I don't know what to say. I was not here when Sergeant Mokhane testified. I was not there. I don't know how could I assist in that.
manje ke ngibazise ekuqaleni uMkhani ithe makukhulunywa ngendaba yase-engine yokushawa kukamangalelwa yena eshawa yelabantu laba asesikhulume ngabo yena uqale ephika ukuthi azange asondele ngase-engine garage ithe ke mase sekuvela lo kuyabufakazi be-AVL kulaye ukuthi uye washo ukuthi yebo bekangase-engine kodwa ukushawa bona ugcine sekuthi uyakuphika ubrigadier uthi mina bengingekho ngeke ngikwazi ukuthi uMkhani utheni futhi nalaphayana e-engine mina kanini.
And please, my lord, we submitted that question is misleading because the version that was put to Sergeant Mokhane was that en route to Morocco on the 19th of June, that's when the assault took place. But this version was later adapted to say that the assault took place on the way back from Carltonville.
I'll differ with what my colleague is submitting. I'll make reference to the records. And the reason why my colleague is raising with this objection is because they knew and deliberately so omitted the location of that motor vehicle on the 18th on the reasons that they knew that it was an evidence that corroborated the version of accused number 2. I will submit with due respect that there is no such objection or statement made by Sergeant Mokhane. What is understood is that Sergeant Mokhane initially denied having taken accused number 2 next to an engine garage in the presence of Jonathan, Maphumulo, Buthelezi and the rest. And further, it has been denied by all these witnesses, I mean the SWAT unit, to be next to an engine garage at any given stage when it was put to them that Ntanzi was assaulted on the day. But what I can put to you now is that when Jonathan, Buthelezi, Maphumulo were cross-examined in relation to the version given by Ntanzi that he was assaulted next to an engine garage, they also denied having been next to the engine garage. They also denied having assaulted accused number 2.
As a conclusion, we will repeat the same objection that the version that was put was that this assault happened on the 19th of June.
Not on the 18th.
On the way, yes. On the way to Morocco Police Station.
Yes.
That is not true. We definitely rely on our records.
That's the vision.
May I proceed, my lord?
Yes.
Yes. I'm putting to you that the version of accused number 2 is that on the 18th he was assaulted and later he was taken back to Pretoria North where he was kept. And 2 hours later or 3 hours later he was booked out again. No, is not the topic. After he was assaulted, around about 12 o'clock midnight, he was transported back to where he was kept at the police station. It was Pretoria North. So 2 hours, so when he was booked in at 2:30 in the morning, and was booked out around 5 or around 4 to take him to Fortuna police station on the 19th. Can you dispute that?
The booking out, my lord, I will not dispute that because it's. I think I've seen, although I'm not sure about the time, but I will not dispute it because if it's not accurate, it's not far from that. So that part I will not dispute, my lord. The part that I want to dispute clearly and without a shadow of a doubt is the impression that the state, including myself, I suppose, we deliberately kept the information of the 18th because we knew that it has issues. That's not correct. When I received the request for the AVL, I made that application, my lord. I made that application. And the request was the information for the AVL to be provided from the 30th of May 2020 to the 24th of June. All the days. And when I say all the days, I'm not saying selected days. Every day. 30, 31, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once that was obtained, my lord, because it was voluminous, I consulted with the state as to which parts to make it easier does the defense and the state wants to deal with. I was never given the date of the 18th. And when that is why the initial package didn't include the 18th, because I then took the request, not that I prepared it myself, sat with the expert and said, please package this information according to this date and submit your affidavits so that it can be presented. And that's how it was done, my lord. Later, when additional dates were requested, we followed that same pattern. So at no stage was information kept away. That is really not correct.
Nkosi Nkantolo, indaba leyo yokuthi uNtanzi uye wabuyiselwa esitokisini ebusuku uthi ubrigadier lokho angiphikisi nangokho uma engabe isikhathi singafani kodwa sicishe sisondela khona lapho. Indaba engifuna ukuyiphika ile ndaba yokuthi ilanga leli lange-18 bufakazi bakhona thina siye sabugodla ngenxa yokuthi besazi ukuthi kunento eshaya amanzi khona lapho. Uthi cha, asizange thina sagodla lutho ngoba lesi sicelo sokuthi kulethwe lobuyabufakazi be-AVL yimina ongafaka leso sicelo ngemva kokuthi sengiceliwe ukuthi kudingeka ubufakazi obunjalo. Yimina futhi ngasho wonke amalanga, angizange ngithethe amalanga. Itheke mase sekuvela la enkantolo ukuthi kudingeka amalanga athize kulana khona ngiye ngathi kungodi loyana ukuthi asithumelele noma asenzele lawo malanga adingwa inkantolo futhi aphinde ayenze i-affidavit. Mina ayikho into ebengikade ngiyigodla.
May I just further take you on the version at Engine Garage? Sergeant Mkhane conceded when he was cross-examined on the AVL of the 18th of June 2020. He conceded to say he was at Engine Garage. That's where they bought water and some stuff. And further conceded that on that night he was later joined, or on that night he was further joined by the SWAT unit, that is Jonathan, Buthelezi and Mapumo.
My lord, obviously the issues of the Engine Garage and buying food, I was not told about that. What I do know is that on the 18th of June 2020, Sergeant Mkhane did report to me that the car was giving him mechanical issues. That I know. Subsequent to that, I did say he must get a backup because I knew they were in a company of accused too. I know he was joined by SWAT team members. I just didn't get the names as to who, but I know that at the time when they were at a specific area, there was a mechanical issue, and insofar as I was briefed, SWAT came to assist until the mechanical issue was resolved, and they went to detain
accused to. That is how that's what I know about the presence of SWAT. It was to assist basically with the safekeeping of everyone.
Indaba yokuthengwa kokudla noma okuphuzwayo kwange-18 angizange ngitshelwe ngakho angikwazi. Kodwa engikwazi ukuthi uSergeant Mukhane uye wangichazisela ukuthi nge-18 imoto yayikade imnika inkinga, kungakho ngiye ngamcebisa ukuthi afune i-backup, ingakho egcine sekathola laba akukhulunywa ngabo, kodwa angizange ngitshelwe ukuthi abobani amagama walabantu laba abafikile bazomsiza, ngoba mina ngithi athole laba bazomsiza ngoba bengazi ukuthi unomangalelwa wesibili.
And it was for the first time when confronted with the AVL of the 18th that Sergeant Mukhane gave evidence of the mechanical breakdown of a motor vehicle. During his evidence in chief, or even cross-examination before the AVLs, he never said anything about mechanical failure in the motor vehicle. I'm surprised that as the lead investigator, you want to support a statement that was never said initially by you, by Sergeant Mukhane.
My Lord, I don't know how the question was put to him. I'm simply narrating what was told to me, and subsequent to that, my Lord, the vehicle was indeed booked in the police garage in Benoni, because on the 24th, I know that they were using Sergeant when the confession, insofar as accused number 2 is concerned, at the Boksburg Magistrate Court is concerned, the car was already sitting in Benoni. So the reporting was made to me and is not meant to mislead or do anything. It's a fact that I was told, my Lord.
Mina akusukuthi ngifuna ukulahlekisa inkantolo noma ini, ngiye ngatshelwa ngokuthi imoto yayikade ihlupha futhi umangalelwa wayekade hamba nabo naye uSergeant Mukhane. Angazi ukuthi ubuzwe kanjani ukuze azophendula ngalendlela ummeli bekathi uphendule ngayo, kodwa mina ngiye ngatshelwa ukuthi imoto ibikade ihlupha futhi bebakade bangale ngasendaweni yaseBenoni.
My Lord, before we request an adjournment, with your permission, I am going to pause on this cross-examination for the 18th, because I didn't want to juxtapose and show no logic in what I'm asking. And I will provide the records tomorrow morning relating to the evidence that is now given by Brigadier Gininda about the AVL of the 24th of June. May I just have few questions on the AVL of the 24th? As I'm saying to you, putting what has been asked from Mr. Sergeant Mukhane, on the 24th, is it your evidence also? Can you confirm it under oath that on the 24th, the Toyota Fortuna was in Benoni and it was not transporting accused number 2 to
Yes.
Boksburg prison, to Boksburg court?
No, it was in Benoni. I think the AVL record, my Lord, shows that we gave it to the defense. It's not a point of contention. The AVL, I remember, went through it, and I think it was there few days before the 24th. My recollection on the 24th, it is parked in Benoni. It's a mechanical police garage, my Lord.
Ngiyavuma ukuthi nge-24 imoto le i-Toyota Fortuna yayikade ingahambisi umangalelo wesibini, ngoba ngiyazi futhi ngibonile nakwi-AVL ukuthi yapakwa laphaya eBenoni amalanga ngaphambi kokuthi i-24 zifike.
Yes. The reason why I requested permission or indulgence to the court to deal with the date of the 24th is because, firstly, I'll bring the records tomorrow in the morning, whereby there was a ruling by the court when we objected on the use or the giving evidence on the AVL. And the court made a ruling and I'll provide that ruling that has been made by the court, which was considered by Sergeant Mkhano to that motor vehicle was interlinked with the AVL. And there were certain areas that were also mentioned in that ruling relating to the Fortuna that was transporting accused number 2.
My Lord, I don't understand the interlink. What I know about AVL, it is assigned to a specific vehicle. You can't link it to another vehicle. It's assigned to a specific vehicle to monitor the driving, management of the driver, the location, the speed, but it's assigned to a specific vehicle. And the one that I saw, my Lord, like I said, my recollection and which I can provide, I do have that AVL. On the 24th of June 2020, the vehicle was parked in Benoni. The AVL shows that. So if it was interlinked with another vehicle, I don't know how, my Lord.
So, Mr. Before you interpret it, sir, not interlinked with another vehicle.
Oh.
The evidence of Sergeant Mkhano relating to the transportation of accused number 2 was interlinked. That's what I was saying, not with another motor vehicle. You still dispute that he was transported on the 24th of June?
No, I don't dispute that he was transported from prison, from the police station, my Lord, because I made the arrangements for the confession. I've said this in my evidence in chief. I didn't give instruction to Sergeant Mkhano. I know that accused 2 was picked up from the police station, taken to Boksburg Magistrate Court, and that is where the confession by Magistrate Pretoria was made, and then taken back, and that is the 24th of June 2020. What I'm saying is that in my recollection, the vehicle, the Toyota Fortuna, I think it's FV47LFGP, my Lord, that vehicle was at Benoni. He was not utilizing that vehicle. That's what I'm saying, my Lord.
Angiphiki ukuthi nge-24 umangalelwa wasuswa estokisini ayisiwa enkantolo ukuthi ayohlangana nomantshi uKronye ngalesikhathi eyogonyuluka, kodwa wayekade engahambi ngale Toyota Fortuna ekukhulunywa ngayo. Mina nginaleso siqiniseko sokuthi wayekade engahambi noma engahanjiswa ngale Fortuna ekukhulunywa ngayo.
I'll further give you the records tomorrow morning to confirm that Sergeant Mkhano led evidence that from the police station to Boksburg Court, he transported accused number 2 using a white Toyota Fortuna bearing